A sponge who lives underwater. Where's the remote? Here it is. His confusing genders, really, Madeline. Hey everyone, what's happening? My name is Madeline, and if you're new to my channel, then it's nice to meet ya. Today, on this Monday's video, I'm going to talk about TV shows that rocked our childhood days. You know, those Nickelodeon and Disney channels that were just the bomb. That were just the best. So let's get started. SpongeBob SquarePants. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants! SpongeBob SquarePants was a TV show on Nick that's probably one of the oldest in the world about a little sponge who lives in a pineapple under the sea. SpongeBob has a stupid best friend named Patrick. He's so dumb. He's a starfish that lives under a rock. And those two are the neighbors of Squidward who's very tolerable or tolerant to everything. SpongeBob works at the Krusty Krab with a greedy boss named Mr. Krabs who has a whale daughter. How does a crab have a whale daughter? No one knows. But the Krusty Krab also has its arch nemesis Plankton, who steals the Krabby Patty formula. Well, at least attempts to, but never does. I need a kitty. Okay, you're free to go. The first episode premiered in 1999. The next show I'm going to discuss is The Fairly Odd Parents. An average kid who no one understands. Show is about a young boy named Timmy who is 10 years old, who has two fairy godparents, Cosmo and Wanda, and has an evil babysitter by the name of Vicky. Hey Vicky, you're oh so icky. The makes me oh so sicky. They go on crazy adventures. Timmy has this crush on this popular girl named Trixie Tang, who never notices him, I guess, because she's so popular. I forgot about her friends. Timmy has some pretty loserish friends, Chester and AJ, and I forgot this other guy's name, but he had a boil. It was pretty weird. Timmy makes crazy wishes, like he wishes he was smart, he wishes he could read other people's minds. I forgot to mention that Timmy has this teacher, Mr. Crocker, who is a fairy hunter and believes that Timmy has fairy god parents. The first episode premiered in 2001, and I believe it's around 2009 or whatever. Cosmo and Wanda have a baby named Poof. There's also the big muscled fairy named Jorgen von Strangle, who's always like punishing Timmy Turner. So I'm probably going to do 6 today and do 6 in the next part. Jimmy Neutron, boy genius. How did this theme song go? I kind of forgot. It's based off of a movie that premiered in 2001, but in 2002 it became a TV series on Nickelodeon. It's about a little boy named Jimmy Neutron who is a boy genius. He has two best friends, Carl and Sheen, Carl is very nerdy a bit, but Sheen is a little bit of the outsiders, blah blah blah. There's two people, Cindy and what was that other girl's name? Gosh, I cannot believe I forgot that other girl's name. I think it's Libby. Cindy and Libby, who kind of hate on Jimmy a bit. There are some shows where Jimmy and Timmy have a collaboration. It happened like 3 times, I think it did. The TV show discontinued in 2006. Now we're getting into some Disney Channel stuff. That's So Raven, probably one of my favorite shows ever as a kid, and probably one of my favorites today. That's So Raven, it's the future I can see. What the show is about is like a teenager named Raven Baxter, who is psychic, which means she can see visions and can tell what happens in the future. Her best friends are Chelsea and Eddie. Chelsea's like little blondish type, and Eddie is that guy friend who kind of picks on girls, you know what I mean? Her parents, one of her parents is a professional chef, which I will mention later on in this episode, and her mom goes to law school. This show premiered in 2003 and stopped in 2007. And that's because Raven has a little brother named Cory who got his own show, which we're going to talk about next. Cory in the House. A show where Chef Victor Baxter, also known as Raven's dad, was asked to be the professional chef for the president. And Cory goes with them. Cory still goes on his crazy shenanigans and asks people for money and stuff like that. If you didn't notice on That's So Raven, Cory is greedy. He meets two friends, one that's like the skateboarder type, Newt, and Mina, whose father's the ambassador, I believe? I don't really know. They form a band and they get into some crazy shenanigans. What I forgot to mention about Cory is that he plays the drums. The president also has a daughter named Sophie, who's America's Angel. That's what they call me. Who tries to ruin Cory's plans. This show only was on for about a year. The last show I'm going to talk about is probably my favorite animated show as a kid. Kim Possible! Kim Possible, come with me if you want to raise your hand. Yeah, that's really out of key. Kim Possible is about this teenage girl named Kim Possible who saves the world. She saves the world from Dr. Dragon, some Scottish dude, Shigo, all the enemies whose names I can't really remember. She has a best friend named Ron who goes on the quest, and Ron is that typical sidekick who does everything wrong. Kim also has two little brothers who are really dweebs named Jim and Tim. Wow, way to get that confusing. Her mom is a doctor and her dad is a mad scientist, so Dr. Dragon basically needs her dad for some experiments. She's saved the world many times, and she is known for it. She's known all around the world for saving them, because everyone who gives a ride has been saved at least once. The first episode of Kim Possible premiered in 2002, and it left in 2007. It's one of my favorite shows. I'm gonna miss it! Okay guys, so there are TV shows that I think were neighborhood as kids. This will not be the only part, and part 2 will be released next Monday. And the reason for that is because if I did a long video, if I did all of them, then it's probably going to be a long video. Make sure you leave a comment on what I should discuss in a future video. Happy birthday to someone whose birthday is today, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.